Hey guys, Tuesday with Tanya here. We're at Brood Awakenings, one of my favorite places, Route 2, Warwick, Brood Awakenings Coffee House. I have Alexandra Lepore here, spiritual life coach, and much more. So so we'll have our, we'll hear about that, and we have a raffle too. Actually, and this is for people during the live. So I'll show it actually this way, but then I'll also reverse the camera as well. So we're giving that away during the live for a gift card. So like we just started saying about the energy thing. I don't know. Should we start with that? It's true though. We'll start with whatever.
My name's Alexandra. I am the owner and spiritual life coach of Soul Infused. It's more about helping people learn how to navigate their emotional seas and make a better life for themselves. You know, we usually kind of work off of our emotions, and sometimes that's disastrous, and actually most times. So just trying to help people help themselves and learn how to become the master of their vessels.
You made me think of something too. Like, you know, they always say like first impressions are like the lasting impressions, or, you know, let's say something does happen emotionally or something with someone, and then someone else is there. Let's say it's a friend of a friend that's like, oh my God, I can't believe he acted like that, or I can't believe she acted like that. But really, that's not the everyday emotion of that person. But because someone else caught you off guard or caught, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you almost don't forget that. Like, oh my God, I can't believe how he acted. Like he acted like an animal, or she acted like an animal. But in reality, the person does have a very good side. So it's sad, it's true. But that's what. So how do you describe that? What's your definition? Like,
that would be as people being judgmental, because we really can't put ourselves in the other person's physical body and know exactly what they're going through. They could have just had a really messed up day, and unfortunately, they couldn't have, distanced themselves from their own emotions, and then they acted out of how society would say the norm, Right. We have to be careful of that, Don't judge others and don't judge yourself. Because when we sit there judging ourselves, we become prisoners to the feelings that we have about ourselves. And when you go into the quantum physics and biology of things and neuroscience of it all, our body is 70% made of water, and our brain is 90% made of water. So there is a professor called Dr. Emoto, and he's from Japan, and he did some studies on water crystals and what the energies that they fed or said to these water crystals before they flash froze them. And those water crystals that had loving intention or loving words placed upon them formed beautiful crystals. But the ones that had, like, I hate you, you're nothing, stuff like that, they just froze as a big mess. So we need to be conscious of that. I mean, if we don't know how our bodies function and how we use frequency and energy, then we are setting ourselves up for failure by constantly putting ourselves down. We need to really love ourselves. And that's not easy to do when you've been raised with trauma.
Oh, thank you. And guys, just drop a comment if you're watching, especially if you're watching live, just letting us know you can hear us. I have a new microphone thing set up here. I'm pretty sure it's working, but just drop a comment saying yes, you can hear us. And it's not showing me the number of people tuned in. Sometimes it shows me, sometimes it doesn't. I saw some likes, so thank you for the likes. So I might repeat what I just said, just in case, to make sure they can hear us, But yeah, so it's true. Like, even me, sometimes I focus my energy on someone, or even on something, even something as simple as, let's say, even a text message. Like, I'm OCD, so I'll read a text message 3 times. Like, even if it's something that's important, not important, I'm just doing that. But I'm putting energy, like I said, somewhere where it probably shouldn't be put. And it's not because that person is not important. It's just that, like I think we misplace, and I'm guilty of it too, we misplace our energy, and then I wonder why sometimes my goals are not met, and I think that that's part of the reason.
Yeah, well, what I've found on that aspect is, not to dwell on things that people tell you. At the end of the day, other people's opinions of you matter not. You have to know who you are and how you are. And if you were to focus on the negative aspects of things constantly, and then you sit and you ruminate and you think about it and think about it, you know, it doesn't make you feel really good. So if you were to take that energy, instead of focusing negatively on someone else or yourself, and turn it around and focus positively on oneself, then you realize that you take all that time and you're building yourself up rather than bringing yourself down with negative thoughts.
Right. Thank you. Sounds great. So no one did chime in. So guys, we're still going to stay here. Do you mind if we just check on yours just to make sure you can hear us? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a pain. So we're just going to check. And this is more for a technical thing because I just don't want to start and then we started and, you know, so good. You can hear us then. Yeah. Good. All right. Thank you. Maybe do a share if you want. Only because in case if we're not going live. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Thank you. She's quick. At least one of us is like, Zigo came up. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, all right. So cool. All right. So, yeah, so definitely, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. I'll share more afterwards. But no, sounds awesome. And then, so don't forget, for anyone who's tuning in, we do have a gift card we're giving away, but it is during the live. It's for a spiritual coaching session right here with Alexandra. So she's the owner of Soul Infused, and you'll get the gift card. We will wrap it off during the live. So drop your name if you're interested. I'm sorry you can't drop someone else's name, but if you for some reason want to give it to someone else, that's okay, but just drop your own name. So if you're Mike Smith, common name, just write Mike Smith and then you give it to someone else. Or maybe tell your friend, hey, chime into this. It is a public broadcast, and have that person come on the page and add it in. So okay, yeah, so no, sounds great. All right, so then we were saying, about our I wrote here something about experience. Yeah, forget my little note. Yeah, I wrote a note about something. Sorry. Well,
I have strictly life experience. I'm 52. I have a lot.
Oh, that's right. The experience. That's right. Yeah, with the therapy thing. Yes,
a lot of life experience.
Forget why I wrote it.
I went to college. I did take psychology, but I am not a psychologist or a therapist. I've been to the School of Hard Knocks, and there's no one better to help someone than someone who's been in that position. Fortunately enough, some might say unfortunately, but fortunately enough, I've been through a lot in my life, and I am able to empathize with people and their situations. You know, from drug addiction to sexual molestation to mental disorders, or I have a lot of experience through my life, and I've overcome everything. And what's happened is I found the key to the prison of my mind, and my intent is to make copies of that key and pass it on to everyone else, because we all deserve a fulfilling life rather than living an empty shell of an existence.
No, sounds great. I just want to make sure I heard you clearly. So you feel that some people might look at it as unfortunate, but you feel fortunate that you've had these downfalls and things go wrong?
Absolutely.
It's like you actually feel fortunate.
Absolutely. Right. Because I've been able to grow from these things that have happened to me.
And learn from it too. And I had mentioned this too, not to be off topic, but I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing to land in prison. I mean, I don't judge people, but at the very least, if you did go to prison and I know what's the theory. As long as you didn't kill anybody, it's like everything else is doable if you didn't kill anybody, And I'm not trying to make light of it, but you saw that, not you, but like people see that process. Like, because I've had an inmate on here, or a former inmate, and that's fine, he's a great guy. But you see, what they've been through. They have a whole perspective. Oh, well, they're going to do this. They're going to be an intake. Like, they can say everything. They can say how life is in prison. Or even if they never made it to prison, but there was a chance that they maybe were going to. Just to see that legal process and how it plays out. Hi, hey, Roseanne. Hey there. And just to see how that plays out, you really see. You know what I mean? Like, you see something you would have never experienced. And, even legal cases. If you've never been a part of a legal case, you're probably not going to know how it works. Or the ins and the outs. So even though these experiences are bad, I feel like at the very least you learn from them. And you learn from them, you grow from them. You could be advice to someone else who's currently going through something similar that you used to go through. Or, you know what I mean? So it's not the worst thing.
Well, I have a different perspective than most. I tend to be very optimistic and able to look at a situation that one might see as really dark and intense, and then find that silver lining and bring that forward and be able to maybe have a conversation about, okay, this is how you're feeling. These are the reasons or possible reasons why you're feeling this way. Let's take a deeper look and see how we can diffuse those feelings and bring in a better or a more powerful, positive thought process than a negative thought process that we usually all, so we don't mean to be Debbie Downers, but I think, unintentionally we think about the negative a lot more than the positive.
Right. So we point it out too.
Yes.
But then when something goes right, it's like, okay, we don't point that out.
Right.
And it's like, but that person just improved, or they just did a great deed, and we just ignore it, like, because we're almost thinking of, but she did this wrong, or he did that wrong, or, exactly.
Yeah. No, do we ever hold gratitude too? Because if you look at the energies on the scale of energy, gratitude is one of the highest energies out there. So if we're always living this life and we're bitter and we're angry and we have no gratitude in it, then we risk just losing ourselves to those emotions. And life wasn't meant to be an empty shell of an existence. It was meant to be lived full and of joy and happiness. But if we can't provide that for ourselves, we definitely can't expect anybody else to provide it for us.
Right. And the gratitude thing, it's funny you mentioned that. We have a few local authors. Thank you guys for the likes. Don't forget, drop your name if you want to enter the raffle for a session with Alexandra Lepore, spiritual coach and advisor. So the gratitude thing, how do you say it? Yeah, the few local authors, at least two of them wrote about it in a book that they just published. 3 women from Cranston, Hi, hey Charlotte, hey, thanks, thank you Charlotte, thank you. She's out of state. She's in a nice peaceful state with the mountains, and she comes here, it's like, wow, it's like dreary here in Rhode Island. It's like cloudy and stuff, it's rainy, but you're right, Charlotte, it's like beautiful where she is. God, I have it on the tip of my tongue. Where she lives, one of the states with the mountains, Colorado. I'm sorry. I'm so not geography. But yeah, about gratitude, like those authors had mentioned that. So meaning we should just always be thankful for stuff, or always just realize everything. I know what gratitude means, but what's like your definition of it? Like we have to be appreciative of everything that is going right and be grateful that we have what we do have, and just,
the way that I see it is, when you wake up in the morning and your feet touch the ground, or even if they don't touch the ground because of whatever health reasons, if you wake up in the morning, that's already the first step to being grateful. Even if your life is a mess, even if it's ugly, you've been blessed with another day to be the better version of yourself. But a lot of people, they don't really see that. We get lost in rent and work and chaos and drama. We are very much addicted to drama, and we don't even realize it. So that's where gratitude starts. Just waking up in the morning and feeling that, and saying, "Hey, thank you, God," or to whoever you believe in. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and I don't push it on anyone. But I believe that as a Christian, seeing Jesus as not someone who lives outside of ourselves, but a consciousness that we are made in His image, and that's nothing more than the image of love. So if we're all capable of that, do we want to? I think that's the question. And we really don't, because people have slighted us, we've had trauma and abuse and all kinds of things that have happened. So we kind of build a wall, and we don't love easily. We don't trust easily. We don't, so it creates a lot of negative waves.
But don't you think that's expected? Hey, Roseanne's saying she agrees. She tries to live her life like that every day, which is good, which is great. There's times I forget to, gotta be honest. I get caught up in the day-to-day, or I gotta do this, and this, so no, it's good if you can be mindful and be in the moment and be present and not thinking about what needs to be done by the end of the day or by the end of the week, or not thinking about what happened yesterday that bothers us. I mean, I do these things too. I do. Yeah. It's hard. I guess the way to put it, that's the way to be present.
Yeah.
Like just to not hold that grudge or not whatever. But it's hard. And any quick tip on that? Oh my God, any quick tip on that? Because it's true.
Why hold a grudge? The grudge is just going to toxify yourself. Like the grudge.
It took years.
It took years to get there for me.
Roseanne, I thought you're 35. She looks 35. But a hot mom.
Yeah, but. I forgot what you
said something with why hold that grudge, because then...
Oh, yeah, why, it just toxifies your own body. We have to really, like, you can't know these things unless you, I guess, research it. You know, I'm very big into neuroscience. I'm very big into energy because I am an empath. I am an intuitive, and I read people's energy. And I went and I explored that more. And then when you realize what a beautiful vessel we've been given by our Creator, by our Creator, and you realize that you can create things, and you can even create a life of peace and abundance. But you have to have that balance inside. You can't be angry and bitter and you know, disgruntled about everything and expect and want peace in the world when you don't even have peace within yourself. So before we can create peace in this world, we have to have peace within ourselves. And if we want to create beautiful things in this world, we need to focus on the beautiful things, and rather than on the things that, you know, maybe someone who slighted us or who made us feel bad. Like, don't worry about that. No one's opinion matters but your own.
Right. That I've gotten much better with over the years, being able to tune that person out and just say, you know what, they're doing that to mostly everyone. But usually it's a problem within the person themselves. My thing is when someone did something to me, like where it was, you know, something, let's say even in a relationship. I mean, I am in a great relationship right now. It's been for a while. I'm talking years ago where like, oh, this one cheated or this one did this or that. Like, it's like, oh my God, like I hate you. Like, you're just like I could never date you again. I never will date you again. Even if this current relationship doesn't last, I still will never go back with you, like ever. Like, but see what I mean? How I have those strong, like, that's part Italian too. At least I'm sorry for any Italians. But, I mean, I have a lot of Italians on the page. But I mean, we have that, like that streak of like non-forgiveness or whatever, like but it's true. That's not good if I hang on to that. Like I'm not even thinking of that. So it's probably a bad example because I am in something right now that's solid and legit. But I'm saying before, but even just in general, like if I were to like, oh, that stupid guy at the gas station. That was you I told that to, right? About the guy at the gas station. So I'm at the gas station having like a grand old day. I'm like, whatever. I mean, a decent day, decent, content. Things are going well. I actually talked to myself at one point because I was just trying to figure out what I had to do next. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. All right. I'm trying to get gas and throw away my little throwaway gloves. And I murmured something. I said to myself, and I look up and like I see his face like next to mine. And I'm like, ew, like, should I say something? I don't know. Right? Like my whole hi, hey Dave, hi. I gotta be honest, my whole demeanor like changed. I was like, oh, I'm like, I hate this guy. I'm like, I can't right now. I don't care that you're tall, dark, and handsome. I effing hate you. It's like I'm saying this in my head. I'm like, and I'm just like, just seeing him there was like, and I think he saw me too, but I don't even know. I don't even care. But it was a quick thing. It happened in Cranston. But anyways, it's just. But I don't know. But see how I got like that.
You gave your power away to someone else.
Yes,
that's what we do.
Not good. I'm gonna be honest. I need help with that.
We all do.
I know, Dave. Yeah. I know. But you know what I mean? Like so now, but there is no feeling there. If anything, there's feelings of I don't like you. There's not like I could say I like this guy. Oh damn it! I wish I worked with him. No, it's like nothing like that at all. So like, how do you get? And I know there's women and even men that maybe are watching that have that same anger towards their ex. And actually, that guy himself actually had a lot of anger towards his ex because I used to hear about it.
And then it carries on into the next relationship.
Yes, and I used to hear about it. It was crazy.
We haven't really realized. So what we do is rather than sitting and trying to make things better, you can't. It's not a one. If you're trying a relationship, it's not a one-person job. Both parties have to be willing to grow and take the necessary steps. But you can't just. Oh my goodness, I can't stand that when that happens.
No, that's right. You can't expect people to,
No, but you just can't expect to grow if they're not willing to grow. So you both have to work at it. So when you date a person and then you leave them because you can't stand them and they're getting on your nerves or whatever, have you taken the time to sit back, step back, and talk? Not yell at each other, but actually have a conversation and say, this is where I'm going. Where do you want to go? Do we want to make this work? And if we're going to make it work, this is what we believe should be topics of where we want to grow on. Do we want to be more forgiving? Well, if you want to be more forgiving, if you want to be forgiven for things, then you need to be more forgiving of others. If you want to be understood, you need to understand others. If you want more compassion from your partner, be more compassionate. Like, we don't think about these things. So we get what we dish out.
Right.
You know, it's like a law of attraction type thing.
Right, and I like everything you're saying, but I just wanted just a little side note. What about people though that way it was a really serious thing that went wrong, which makes you have that anger towards that person, and you feel like it's hard to forgive. So it's like, now in that case, to me, like, there was no talking it over with that. I get what you're saying. So then sometimes you can't talk things through and set some boundaries or whatever. But I'm talking like something that was like legit wrong that was done or said that you know in your mind you're not going to get past.
So then you use it as a stepping stone for wisdom.
Right, but to me, I have to leave that person. I'm not gonna sit and talk it out with them because I can't erase what they did. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you on that. But, you know, I mean, did you want to be with that person? Maybe it's just an easy out because you didn't want to even deal with that person. You know, or maybe not you, but some people just run at the first inkling of there's a problem because they don't want to confront that. Or, it doesn't have to be a confrontation in a negative way, you know, but we as human beings, we can talk with each other and discuss things and, you know, be an adult about it. Like, do we really know what being adult is? Like, have we had great people or examples to follow in our lives? Like, were my parents great examples in what relationship was? Absolutely not. So I had no direction to what I wanted in a relationship or even how someone should be treating me because I never really saw anything really great in my own parents' relationship, you know? So who do we want to be? It's not like what can I do, what can I do, what can I do? It's who can I be? And if we live a life more in a loving energy, in an energy of compassion and forgiveness, then things are bound to get better. And the forgiveness isn't for the other person. Forgiveness is for self. Right. You know? Because what am I going to sit there and sow seeds that bear no fruit? Meaning I'm just going to sow seeds of resentment and hatred and anger and jealousy and whatever that is in my heart. Nothing comes to fruition from that. But if you forgive and you love and you're compassionate and kind and selfless, I mean, you know, we all tend to be very selfish in our own ways, you know. We don't think of anyone but ourselves most times, you know. Or then you have those who think about everybody else and not themselves, and then you get worn down because now, you know, you're on the back burner somewhere, and everybody else is getting love and attention, but you've neglected to give it to yourself. So then, how do you expect to understand that you're worthy of that too? You know, you're worthy of loving yourself, and that has to come first. Before you can give any other love to someone else, you have to be able to give it to yourself. And then love isn't something that's conditional. It's unconditional. So no matter what somebody's doing, you know, you can choose. You choose to forgive or not. That is a choice. You can choose to not be angry or to be angry. That is a choice. Every moment of the day, we have a choice. I choose to be love. I choose to be forgiveness. I choose to be compassion. I choose to be kind because that is what I want to see in this world. And if we're not willing to become that, how do we expect the world to change?
Right, no, very well said, very well said. And I don't know if it's don't hate me, I don't know if it's a Libra in me that's always trying to, meaning like, but still, I agree, I feel like, I don't know if you agree, but there's things to me that are not forgivable. They're very hard to forgive. So in that case, I feel like you just have to cut ties with that person. And not that you have to wish them ill will, but you know what I mean, though?
You step aside and you hold the space of love in your heart for them. That's it. Even if they, you know, you don't have to go tell them that you love them. You just, you know, I pray that, you know, you see the light one day, or I hope that you open your eyes and learn to love yourself so you can love someone else, or
whatever. Or do the right thing, or do the right thing next time around.
Whatever it is, you know, but don't hold negative thoughts about that person. I mean, our thoughts are nothing more than energy. So what we project comes back to us. So you can't expect someone to like you if you're talking to that person and like deep down you're like, I really can't stand this person. Why are you talking nicely with them? Why don't you just say, hey, you know, I'd rather not talk to you. I mean, people don't speak their mind, and you know, it gets us, by being politically correct 100% of the time, gets us nowhere. I think we should express ourselves, with dignity and tact, you know, and lovingly, you know. I can say something to you nicely, and you understand that, hey, you know what, maybe I shouldn't bother.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know, but you don't have to be rude or ignorant and use harsh words and things like that.
Right. And I feel we should learn how to agree to disagree,
Absolutely.
which I think is lost in today's world. It's like, I'm not on the same page with my friends about everything, depending on the topic. It could be any topic, really. And then we think differently, but it doesn't mean I can't be their friend. I still love them as my friend.
Yeah.
You know, like, so, but people are like, oh, no, I don't want to be her friend anymore, or his friend, because he believes this way, or he sides with this one.
Yeah,
or,
I've lost a lot of people from my political views. So
yeah, even that too. But why?
Because they're not mature enough with their emotions.
It's crazy. Like, they just defriend you on Facebook, or they
actually, it's not even mature enough with their emotions. They lead by emotion rather than. They react rather than respond. We should all take a step back and learn how to respond.
I know, Charlotte. No, it's true. It's like, it's crazy. Well, by the way, guys, say hi if you want, or chime in, whether it's now or on a replay. And don't forget, we have this gift card up for grabs, Soul Infused, half-hour session for spiritual coaching. So write your name if you're interested, or if you want to give it to someone else, write your name, you can hand it to someone else. Mutual to respect others' opinions, even if they differ from ours. Right.
But that's the beauty.
Right. But people don't though.
But isn't that the beauty of America?
Not everybody does it, but you know what I mean.
When you look at America as a whole, I've lived in many countries, including Africa and Italy, and I've seen a lot of the world.
Yeah.
And America, by far, is the best country out there. And
so tell us why. You know, in a brief, why do you think it is?
Why?
Yeah. If you had a, not to be on the spot.
Well, I mean, because if you were to look at it, you know, we're like a melting pot of all kinds of races and religions, and we've thrived as a nation. We were like the best, most powerful country in the world, and we did that. We did that together as a melting pot. I mean, we have, you know, people who want to like. We have people who just, it's their way or the highway. There's no compromise. There's no like agreeing to disagree. It's either that or nothing. And then so we have tons of anger, and you know, and I think where America's come from, you know, people talk about, you know, slavery and this and that, and you know, hey, yeah, it was a pretty dark time back in the day, but you know, instead of focusing on that, why can't we focus on, look how far we've come from then? You know, right now, we've come so far from the darkness of what our country used to be, and we're coming out of that right now as we speak. You know, we've got great things going on, even though it's dark. You know, it seems dark. There are bigger forces at play, and the people are going to get their power back. But if you can't even get the power back in your own life, how can you expect to have beautiful things happening around you?
Right,
you know?
right. No, definitely.
But you know, I mean, I've been to North Africa, a beautiful country. I love it. It's awesome. But you know, there's a lot of corruption there, and there's a lot of corruption here. You know, but we've been able to thrive more so than any other country. With everybody's differences.
And I think we're the most probably secure too.
Not right now.
Secure with safety-wise?
Oh, it's an absolute... right now?
I mean, in general. Like, I feel like...
No, not right now, I don't think so. No, not with our southern borders open, no.
Oh, that side. Okay. Yeah,
we
with
are.
That, yeah.
Maybe before, but were we? Or was it an illusion? You know, have we taken the time to research? Have we taken the time to follow the money? Have we taken the time to see the difference between the blue and the red? Is there? Maybe it's a purple. You know, I mean... We've, you know, a lot of people just say, oh, it's you know, it's not affecting me, and it's not, you know, but we got to look a little deeper in it. It might not affect you in this moment, but it's possible that down the road it could affect you. So we need to be engaged. We need to care about something other than ourselves.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, I guess I meant it as on a broader picture, things that I see happening in devastation in other countries. I don't feel that could happen in our countries. with some of the bombing and this and
Oh,
that.
it can happen right now.
I mean, it could, but how do you say it? Like even 9/11, they had to use our planes to hijack. They couldn't even have their own come in from another country to hijack. You know, I'm just making an example. You know what I mean?
I know, but you have to know.
You know, I don't follow it.
You
probably have a deeper. You know,
you have to go deeper on that because.
Are you a veteran? I forget.
I am not a veteran, but I grew up on a military base.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you guys do have different views because I ran into a couple of veterans recently, and I started talking political, and it's on separate occasions. One was at a wedding, and the other one was I ran into in public.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh yeah, I support so and so." You know, I'm mentioning a Republican's name. I can't even say it on here because my page will just be stopped. You know,
Wow.
or just will be like slowed down. And I do support that person. And then I said, "You do too." Like I assume, or came up in conversation. They're like, "No." I'm like, "Well, do you support Biden?" They're like, "No." So it's like, and these are troops. These are guys that, you know, it was crazy. Like they don't support really either.
I support
because they see too much. They see
I support grassroots movement. I support the people. We the people for the people. That's what I support. Our government's gotten too big. All of the monies for all these wars is all of our money. We're getting off on a tangent here. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know. No, thank you.
But it's awesome.
Hey, you're
thank
welcome.
you.
I'm like, you're welcome with us.
Thank you. You know, but
no, it's true though. It is. It's like a constant like. I know. Well, here's what I was going to bring up too. Not to go off topic, just not to because I saw only because look at the time too. So don't forget, guys. If all of you know somebody, if you don't want it for yourself, spiritual healing session, spiritual life coach, a gift card for that.
I do want to say that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm a very no nonsense type of gal. Like I said, I'm strictly school of hard knocks. It's what I've lived through and survived. So I tend to not sugarcoat anything. However, I do have a lot of tact, and I can help people see maybe where they're holding on to things, or just give them a different perspective through my experiences, you know. And I think it's the best way to go. You can't just have someone who's book smart. You need someone who's book smart and street smart to be able to help.
Roseanne got you.
You know, to be able to, to be able to like help that person. You know, like truly. Like okay, say I was bitter and angry, but this is what I did to get myself out of that cycle. Or you know, my family has been in an abusive family, and this is how I broke our generational curses. You know, it's by experience, and it's all done with love. It's not anything. You know, I love humanity, no matter how messed up it is, and no matter what people have done to me. I've had a lot of people do a lot of things to me, starting from a very early age. But I'm made in His image, and if that image is love, man, and love were a virus, I would gladly be the contagion. You know, we need a little more of that, and it's not for everybody else. It's for self first. If you don't love yourself, it's impossible for you to love somebody else. Truly.
No, thank you. Sounds awesome. Sounds great. I was going to mention about just on the topic of it's true. We shouldn't judge. We shouldn't, you know. There are people. I forget where this article. I read an article once. It was a local author, for a local magazine or newspaper type thing, and it was saying how like you can look at people in prison and you can look down at them, and they say, oh, they're nobodies or whatever. But there's a lot of talent within those prisons.
There is.
It was crazy. Like whether it's people who could be entrepreneur, whether it's people that are skilled in a hands-on way to build kitchens and do this. I mean, it's amazing. I could think of 2 people I know I went to school with. I don't know if they were truly made it to jail, but they were.
Prison is just a money market, so we got to get that. Prison isn't something, you know. I mean, I'm sure that people go to prison and they come out rehabilitated, but for the most part, we have a lot of recidivism. So people come in and they go out. They come in and they go out. They come in and they go out. You know, they've never really addressed the true issues. You know,
right.
There's a lot of talent everywhere. You know?
Right, it is. It's amazing. Not just in prisons. I'm just making that example. But it's true, though. It's very true. I could think of 2 people I went to school with. I don't know if they truly ever got arrested or not, but I could picture them to have gotten arrested. I know it sounds bad. And they're doing awesome today. One is in the service, and the other one, and I was talking to him in public a few years ago, I'm like, wow, he totally, I hate to say straightened out, but that was a vibe I got just from a short conversation. I'm like, my God, totally different. And the other one does is self-employed and with building and is doing awesome.
Right.
So I'm just saying, that's just two examples, you know.
Right. But I mean,
yeah.
is somebody great because of the money they make or the things they do? You know, is it their success that makes them great, or is it them as a person that makes them great? Like, I mean, you have to differentiate that, because you could have someone very successful that's got all this money, but like inside they're just putrid. Like, is that?
Yeah, that could happen too.
You know,
That's true.
Is that the example that we're looking for? Right. I'm not looking for those examples. I'm looking for examples that live a Christ-like way. You know, that they're in the light, that they love, that they forgive, that they're kind, they're generous. You know. And generous isn't with their money, it's also with your time. Because at the end of the day, our greatest currency is our time. Right. You know, and people seldom make time for others. They seldom make time for themselves. Right. You know, we should have 2 hours a day strictly for ourselves. Right. You know, and do we ever really? Yeah. I didn't. Right, you know? Right. You have to pencil it in and
I know, really.
And say, I got an appointment with myself.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. It's true. But I like how you said that, because I know I probably shouldn't judge these guys on their success level. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Like, all right, I see but you see what I'm saying. I'm saying it more of like they became reformed almost. Like they seem like they are doing well, or did end up, I hate to say straightening out, but I don't know a better word for it. Mm-hmm. But you're right. You're saying don't even worry about their success level. Don't even worry about, like, it's just what type of person we are. Mm-hmm. So is that also called, I've read about this, like soft skills, like when you're looking for potential employees for your business, if someone has a business then they're looking for employees.
I don't know.
Something like soft skills, hard skills, meaning like to be that person that can be caring, compassionate, that goes the extra mile, that, you know, doesn't stop problems, that gets along with everybody. Like, some of those things matter too when you're hiring somebody.
I think we need to look at the ego at that point when for hiring somebody. I mean, the ego is very prevalent when you interview somebody, I think. You know, so I think we need to see someone who's team-oriented. You know, I'm sure you could ask questions about that. You know, that can work well with others. That it's not all about self. I mean, that's just my own opinion. I don't have any teaching or anything on that. You know, I would rather have somebody that'll go the extra mile and do it with a happy heart than someone that'll go the extra mile and hate every minute of it. You know, and to put that into context, you know, your friend asks you to move on Saturday, and because you're a good friend, you say yeah, but you know what, you really didn't want to do it. So then you go on Saturday, you go to move, and you're like, oh my God, in your own mind, you're like, oh my God, I wish I didn't, I had better things to do, but no, I had to come here and help this. You know, how is that helping somebody? You're actually making yourself miserable, and the time that you're with your friend trying to help them miserable. So then at that point, you say, you know what, I'm busy, I can't help. Or, you know, I really don't want to help. You know, I mean, just say the truth. And everybody's so afraid to say the truth these days.
I know. Not to totally get us off course. Guys, say hi if you want, or drop your name for the raffle if you want. Gift card to Soul Infused, spiritual life coach session. I just thought of this only because it's on my mind, because sometimes I'm not in the news or following up, so I don't mean to bring up this topic, but it was something that was public, and you may have read about it, you may have not. But it just caught my attention today because I came across a news article. It was that guy in Smithfield. He's the coach of Bryant. Drop a comment, guys, if you know what I mean.
I don't watch news.
All right.
But go ahead.
Yeah, basically. See, now, sometimes I think it's good and bad with these patrolmen, these police officers having that body cam, because now that becomes public. So they go to this guy's house basically to arrest him. A hit and run accident, or apparently, supposedly, allegedly hit and run accident. They go to his house to question him. He has a big name over at Bryant University, NCAA, whatever it's called, you know. And he basically, to me on camera, and I'm sorry if anyone out there knows him, I don't know him. He is around my age, but I don't know him. Not that I had to, but I'm just saying. I mean, you can see things going on with him and his wife not getting along in this video too. It's amazing what that body cam on a police officer can capture. So he's telling the cop, no, it wasn't me, because here's what really happened. I was at Blackie's, you know, and he's making up what sounds like to me an ulterior story, like almost, I hate to say an alibi, but, you know, you got his wife coming out there, like, what's going on? He's like, get in the house, get in the house. It's like, that'll be the day my guy talks to me like that, get in the house. I mean, we don't live together, but I'm just saying. Then later in the video, she's out there again, and she's like, no, you need to get in the house, because he just was saying too much, like burying more of a hole for himself. It was unbelievable.
Maybe it was necessary.
You know, it was crazy. But what do you think of that? Like, I know I'm going off topic here, but like this guy basically exposed himself to like thousands of people.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, I mean, I guess I partly
I
felt
would
bad.
rather. Well,
But be
I don't.
honest, did you hit and run? Because it sounds like you did. Because the way he's talking, he's giving one story and then the other. And the cop
Doesn't
was
it
kind
tell
of
you a
like,
lot about his character at that point?
yes.
Okay.
But it's not. It's for everyone to see now.
Well, he put it out there.
Right.
You know, I mean, but I think, you know, with me, what you see is what you get. You
Right.
know, I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I will tell you about my life. I will tell you my hardships. I will tell you my losses and my victories. You know, just being alive and reaching 52 for me is a victory, because there were days in my life that I didn't think I was going to live past 21. You know, so it's a feat just being here right now.
Yeah. No, you're right. We need to remember that. And I don't mean to hop on this guy, but I guess I'm using him as an example that I'm wondering if that's corrupting our world. That we have now, I could see almost a glimpse into his marriage. One's yelling at the other, one's not. I don't think they knew they were on camera right away until after the fact. The video's like half-hour long. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just, and he's just making up excuses, saying this, saying that.
We're all corrupting our world, because how many of us are true to ourselves? You know, so we all have a hand in that. When we look at the condition of the world today, we can't look at it as just as a collective. We have to look at it as an individual in a collective. So individually, who are we? Or how are we? You know, are we loving and compassionate, or are we spiteful and, you know, vindictive? And, you know, I mean, we have to really look at that. People have got to look at themselves and correct or balance out within themselves if they'd like to see a better world. You can't say, oh, I want peace and I want love and I want this, but then you just spew hatred and anger and resentment. Like, it doesn't work that way. You give, you get what you give. And if you're constantly giving out negativity, do you expect to have positivity coming back to you? If you're constantly at battle within yourself, do you think that your circle is going to be without battle? I mean, have we ever really thought about these things? You know, it's a lot of introspection. We have to be willing to look in the mirror and look at our iniquities. We have to look at our ugly side, because we all have one. We can say we don't, but we all have some type of ugly side.
Right.
And we fix it. We fix it. I did it. I was very bitter, angry. I was full of resentment. I still work on resentment. You know, I am by far not perfect. You know, and but I've come a long way from where I was, and it's very easy. We think it's so hard, but it's really not. We just have to be willing to change for the better. We have to be willing to become a better version of ourselves.
Right. And if you were to say like a tip or two, like what would you, that a motto you live by, or something that helped you to get over some of those things and helped you to forgive?
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Life is too short to worry about BS.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of things that they're just not important. Oh my God, well, he was 30 minutes late, and he made me late here. Well, so who cares? It happens. Are you gonna crucify the person? Is it gonna matter in 5 years? That's something I ask myself.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm driving down the road. You know, I used to have a lot of road rage. You know, so it's like, okay, so they're driving like an idiot. Why am I going to get angry about it? That's just ruining my peace. And if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. That's another thing, you know. Will it matter in 5 years? And if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. And that's it. So, you know.
So that's a saying. That sounds good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I've had friends who, you know, I've been kind to them and helped them out, and then they come back and they just trash me. And, you know, what I'll do is I'll block them for a period of time. You know, I'll let them do whatever they got to do, and maybe I will contact them, maybe I won't. Sometimes it's best, you know, if things happen where this person fell out of your life, maybe it's better. Maybe God saw conversations you didn't.
Yeah, I know. I like that quote.
You
I
know?
like that quote too.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe we should look at it with different eyes and be grateful. Hey, you know, this was, that's right. Absolutely.
That's right. I know. Thank you, Roseanne.
Yeah.
It's true. Our peace is priceless. You know, that reminds me of, there's another quote. you're allowing people, I think you may have said it too, and someone else told me too, you're allowing people to live rent-free in your head. How does that go, that saying? Am I saying it right?
Well,
you're allowing the space.
You're allowing, what is it? You're giving space in your head to people rent-free. That's how I say it.
Right.
You know?
But it's true. It's like you're allowing them to kind of...
You're giving away your power. You know? When you do that, you give away your power. And you know what? I was made with a spirit of power, courage, and love. Because that's how I was made. And we're all made that way. So I'm taking back my power. I'm not going to allow people who just think about themselves and whatnot or just think about being negative and putting people down. You know, I don't knock somebody's crown off just because it's crooked. I'll help straighten it out. And maybe we should all be that way. To some extent, you know. Don't be a doormat, but don't be vile either.
Right, awesome. I don't know if you happen to see it or not, but I had found, speaking of, I know you mentioned religion a little bit, and guys, don't forget, enter your name. We'll probably wrap up in a little while.
Yeah.
You know, my own thing.
I don't.
So yeah, right there, gift card, Soul Infused, enter your name if you want. I had found a charm on the ground. I don't know if you caught it on Facebook or not.
I did see that.
So that particular saying had meaning to me. Once you're on these evaluable lists, let's see, your own life becomes... Right.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Thank you. It's very true. It's true. If we learn this, then your own life becomes better. And don't you feel almost more clear too? Like I feel more like focused, more clear. I'm not saying I'm 100%, but compared to where I was to now, I've learned to like stay calm and not make things get me rattled or make me do this or that or say something out of turn.
Right. Well, the way that I see that is that you have to look at anger like a pot of boiling water.
Oh, yes, I love that one. Yeah.
So what you do, you know, when you're angry, it's like a pot of boiling water. You can't see the bottom of the pot. Yeah. But if you let that water cool down, then you notice that it's transparent and it has clarity. Yeah. So the same thing, like if we're angry, take a step back, breathe. You know, don't react out of emotion or anger or frustration. Just don't. Take a step back, breathe, and respond lovingly, even though it's hard to do. You know, there are people who push my buttons, and I keep it calm, and then there's that one thing that they say, and then I'm like, poof, 1 0 to 1,000. You know, it happens. But what you do is just you don't beat yourself up. You drop it, you let it go, and then you move forward. You know, and so what happens is you have a scenario like that plays out again. What you do is you say, you know what, I'm not going to respond like I did last time. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to bring the best version of myself in all things. You know, so
awesome. No, so true.
We are raffling this gift certificate off if you want to put your name in for a half-hour session. I am no nonsense, and you have to be willing to listen and maybe see things about yourself that you may not be aware of.
Right. Oh, and then we had this too. So this I was going to get to my friend. When God closes a door, He always opens a window. I had that little thing. It's actually still in the package. I know it's backwards right now, but I'm going to be giving that to someone today, and we'll see. I'm not sure if she'll be around or not. She might pop in. But no, what I was going to say about the charm is, so that particular charm had meaning, not to get into the whole story of why, but it did from years ago. And I had found little charms like that years ago, and I went to the relic of St. Jude. I don't know if you heard about it at St. Augustine Church.
No.
So I'll try to make it brief. I was at St. Augustine Church. My mom and I had went there, and as we were in line, she pulled out a charm of her own. And I said, that's that saying that always had meaning to me. Oh, Mary, conceive without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee. And my mother pulls out the charm. I said, hey, Ma. I'm like, said to my mom. I said, remember like 20 years ago I was finding these charms? I literally would find them in my backpack, in my change purse, in my coat pocket. Unless someone was playing a trick on me, but I know I didn't put it there. It was crazy. They're not real gold or anything. That's, but not that matters. I'm just giving you a visual. They're those religious little metal, whatever they are. So I said, God, I used to find those like 20 years ago, whatever. So we're at the relic of St. Jude, we say some prayers, we go over the relic, and it was nice to go there. The next day, I'm grocery shopping, and I was over at my car, not only on the side of it, but also in the back of it, loading it up with groceries. I'm pretty observant. I always look down, because I'm always like, I don't want to step in anything. If something's on the ground, I'm too OCD like that. And I didn't see anything on the ground. So I'm like on the side of my car, I'm in the back of my car, putting all the groceries in, get the carriage, have to walk at least 10 feet away in the opposite direction, at least 10 feet away. Come back over to my car, and near my car was this chain on the ground. Like, it's almost like it appeared. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, Tanya, maybe maybe you didn't see it there up front. Maybe it was there, but you didn't see it. I have to say, that might be real. Maybe I didn't see it because I was in a rush. But then there's the other side of me that's like, I'm very like hyper observant. I notice everything. So even in a rush, I'm still going to notice something out of place, or, oh my God, there's geese poop over there. Where? Like even my boyfriend, he'll be like, well, how do you see that little thing of geese poop? I'm like, because I'm like, I'm OCD, I want to step in it. I don't want you stepping in it. I'm like, yo. So I get very, so that's why I'm saying, even though I was, in a rush, I still think I would have seen that. So I guess you never truly know, and it could have fell off someone. I'm not saying it didn't, but I just felt like it was something of a higher power that day. It was just weird.
Well, I would have to agree. Yes, I went to Montenegro in Livorno in 2019 to visit my family in Italy, and they have the Church of Miracles up top of Montenegro, which was where the Madonna showed herself to save them back in the 1400s from a flood. And I went and I lit a candle and I prayed, and I came back to go out to leave to go back down the hill, and as I stood there, all of a sudden a white feather comes down from the tree and drops in the middle of my feet. So for me, that was like either my mom or Virgin Mary telling me that if my prayer was heard. So, I deeply believe in that. I mean, there are things that show up for me that weren't there before. So, we're multi-dimensional, so you have to...
I believe it. I believe it. My quick story, our door opened by itself the night of my great-grandfather's funeral, of his wake. I heard the door, slowly turning, and then it opened just a little. We thought someone was in the house. We thought it was my brother playing a trick on us. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And then my father finally said, it's probably Papa saying bye because you guys didn't go tonight. Because we were young, and my parents, we weren't actually that young. We were probably, I'm saying 11 years old in that type of range, and my parents just kind of sheltered us from that.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing and hearing that with my own eyes. My sister and I know that door opened by itself. So that goes to show you this whole spiritual thing and our loved ones who passed on. I really think they are with us. Oh, actually, the very next day, so not only did I go back to the original story, it was on the ground, almost like meat. Like the part that goes around your neck of the chain was like a full... And I just had said to my mom the day before, remember when I used to find those little charms? And then the very next day, I find a charm. We already had seen the relic of St. Jude, which was supposed to be a mystical, religious thing anyway, a positive thing. So I find that it like as if it was placed on the ground, not like it was just thrown there, like it was meat and all, but whatever, I guess it could have been someone, or we don't really know. I took it as spiritual. The next day she finds a charmed butterfly, and butterflies have a significance to us too, because my mom's sister passed away, and she finds a butterfly charm, and it was actually kind of attractive looking, it was nice, it was it's a little tarnished, but it was decent. It was it was pretty. It was big enough. It was bronze color. And I'm like, this is just weird. I'm like, so she found that the very next day. And we're not people who are finding charms left and right. But it's funny how that took place around the same time as a relic. And I'm sorry to veer off on the story. But yeah, so anything else we want to wrap up with before we do the raffle? I'm also going to say where we're going to be, where I'll be next week.
Not really. I think they've gotten to know me a bit. If you need help, if you want to understand how to use your vessel, become the master of that vessel, then contact me. I'm on Google.
I was going to say, how should people?
I have a business page on Google, verified business. It's Soul Infused, and that's it. I can give you my phone number. It's 401-318-3226, and it's contact me. I'm always willing to give some time, and I think it's important. If we want a community and unity, it needs to start with ourselves. So I'm out here, I'm putting myself out there and trying to bring everyone together so we can thrive, one as a state, two as a nation, and just stay unified and in love. Make love, not war, and it should be something to live by.
Thank you, Roseanne. It's a great topic today, ladies. Thank you so much. But yeah, and I like that you're straightforward, and I like that you just gave your phone number, because not a lot of people do when they're on here. But I think it's nice to do that. It's nice to be, you have to be upfront, and you're saying you can help. Well, that's another way to reach you is through phone, through the internet, and and you stand by what you say. It's true. It reminds me of a time not to go off topic, but with the superintendent of Cranston Schools, how I was hopping on that. I got some backlash, but most people enjoyed that I did that. But there's a couple of people who thought it was not right. But, you know,
well, what's right for you might not be right for someone else, and it's not for us to decide or judge.
Right. But I don't do things unless I had documentation, had done research. I mean, I don't just come on here talking negatively or trying to pinpoint someone when I know exactly what they've done. She walked away from me. That clearly shows that she had no comment, no whatever. I'm at Longhorn Restaurant right over here on Route 2, right over here. And this like tough guy comes up to me, older guy, tough guy, and he's like, are you Tanya? And I said, Tanya. He's like, you went after the superintendent? Now, I don't know if he was going to talk good or bad. I said, yeah. Like, I didn't even say, no, it wasn't me. Like, I didn't get scared away. Like, I stand, you know what I'm saying? I stand my ground. You know, I'm not going to be afraid of him or afraid of anyone, really, you know. So I'm like, yeah, it was me. I did go against the superintendent. He's like, I was happy about that. You know, and I'm just like, oh my God. He's like, I'm retired teacher, this and that. So it was just like, I don't want to call him tough guy, but he did seem like a tough guy. He did seem like a no BS guy himself. But see how I did that? I wasn't afraid in that moment, and you're not afraid. And that's why you're giving your number. And I like when a guest gives their number. Not many of my guests give their numbers when they come on here, but I think you should give your phone number. If you're going to be available to people like you claim you are, then you should give your phone number. And I don't mean you. I'm just saying in general, the people I've had on, you know. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get this going. Let's start a better world.
I know. And it feels good. Yeah, and it feels good. It feels good to do that. Just like I have this little thing for my friend today. Like, you know, if she shows up here, I'm not sure. But, you know, I know the sun's like good.
Okay.
That's all right.
I'll get that vitamin D.
But I know, really, God, guys, I might not be able to see the comments, but I guess I needed my sunglasses for today. But any last words before I'll say what I'll be next week?
Just, you know, look deep within yourself, look in the mirror, you know, take a look at the ugliness that we have within ourselves and just decide to be better.
Right.
That's it. You know, don't beat yourself up. You know, we are the worst as judges of ourselves, you know. We're the worst critic of ourselves. So fill yourself with loving thoughts, with loving words, and talk good to yourself.
Right. No, exactly, 100%. Definitely, and you know, I think all of us could do better. Even people who are in the moment and they are, you know, forgiving people and they are peaceful people and they are helpful people. But I still think all of us, there's always that area in our life. Whether it's we need to get more sleep, we need to eat better, we need to educate ourselves on something. There's always room for like, I think there's always room for improvement.
We all fall short of the glory of God.
Right.
We all do.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know, if you want to put it in a Christian term.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So we could always improve, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it starts with us. We have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, I was just going to say that. I was going to say, so thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the insightful wisdom and all the greatness and everything. Makes a lot of sense and is very useful. I love the details. And so next week, November 21st, moving right along into November 21st, 7 p.m. type range, 7 p.m. range, we'll be with Joanne Giannini. So Joanne Giannini, she'll be on with me next week. She's a local writer, journalist herself, so we'll be on next week. We're still waiting to see what topic, but we'll try to make it fun. So next week, and I forgot about the raffle. Oh, goodness. Actually, I think we just have the one name.
We have
one name. So Roseanne, you got it.
It is yours, Roseanne.
Roseanne, it's yours.
Looking forward to talking to you.
Roseanne, it was yours. I did write it. Actually, sometimes I flip the camera. Let's see. I can't even see because I can't see because the sun. Roseanne, I wrote it. I'm trying to, can you see it? Right there, Roseanne. Oh, good, she chimed in. Awesome. Yeah, right there. So, Roseanne, you got this. I know the sun. Do you believe I've actually shut the shades in this place before? I have done that, or at other places I've been at. I actually shut the shades. At least, oh, it's okay. I dropped my notes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's saying thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, you're welcome. I know, imagine that's what Tanya does. She goes to places and shuts the shades for reasons like this. And we got so caught up in the conversation before we started, so I didn't even think to shut the shade. But thanks, guys. Like and share. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.